The 6th arrondissement in Paris is full of private art galleries. One of the most well-known is owned by Félix Marcillac. He's built up a treasure trove over the years, an extraordinary collection of books with Art Deco bindings, and he's now decided to sell.
I've not been able to buy for 10 years, so the collection is dying. It's not being renewed or built up. It's like I'm sitting on a treasure, and I didn't want that. What I wanted was a battle with a rival buyer, a person who wants what you want. It's like with a woman. We are starting our stuff, we want to please her, we desire her. So with a book binding, we want it, to caress it. It comes back home with us. You have it in your collection, and that's it.
The sale of the Marcillac collection is taking place at the Drouot auction house. The 95 books are works of art. Lacquer on leather or vulcanite, or even inlaid eggshell. All the bindings date to the 1930s.
It's so rare to see such a beautiful collection of illustrated books, and especially with bindings like this.
The collector's genius has been to obtain the most beautifully bound books featuring the work of the Swiss engraver François-Louis Schmidt. The art expert Dominique Courvoisier says the Marcillac collection is outstanding.
Félix Marcillac is not a book lover as such. He's a specialist in Art Deco and had an audacious eye ahead of the rest. So, for example, he readily bought several copies of the same book. All these books in the same format here are the Song of Songs. Schmid revolutionized typography with the Song of Songs. The typography, the richness, the invention are typical of the era. Just look at the work in gold and silver. A page like this, which is all white, and yet retains overall balance, just didn't exist like this before. This is a major piece of work which marks a real turning point in the architecture of book creation.
One undoubted fan is Alexandre Giquello, the auctioneer responsible for the sale catalogue. He's showing them to this collector, Bernard, who is moved by what he sees.
You can see an excellent piece illustrated by Goulden. Well, I say illustrated. Goulden's enamel work is quite remarkable. What do you think of these pieces?
Well, I'll say something, and that is that I'm just dazzled. I only regret that my father isn't here. The auctioneer has his favorite.
I fell in love with this piece as soon as I saw it the first time.
The lacquer work is by Jean Dunant, a well-known French Art Deco artist, and that explains the price, 30,000 euros.
Deep in my heart, I hope it goes for a lot more.
It took Félix Marcillac 40 years to build this collection. It started out as a game between two pals who had very little money but loved art.
I had a friend who was smarter than me. He introduced me to the bindings, and I bought the first two from him. He found them but didn't have much money, so he bought for 50 and sold to me for 70. He bought for 300, and I paid him 350. The prices are not the same 40 years on, of course, but that's how I built the collection, for its beauty. No one else was interested.
The public is allowed in to touch and get a closer look at the books.
It's important to check the page and paper quality with books, and even smell them. A book that's been exposed to humidity has a certain smell, and you can detect it when you open the book right away.
The sale begins an hour later, starting with the book the auctioneer especially likes.
38,000. 48,000. Going at 55,000. Going? Gone at 55,000.
55,000 is double the estimate. While Félix Marcillac's books are going like hot cakes in the auction room, the man himself decided to go to the movies.
When I got out of the film, I had a phone call from my son who told me that I had a few messages saying what had gone for what price. And hearing that, I felt a sell like this is right for me. It's my life. I live and breathe it. My one wish is that the collection is all sold and back on the market. 70,000, 110, 115,000.
The highlight of the sale is the book typeset by Schmid and inlaid with enamel by Goulden. Collectors are gripped. It sells for a fortune.
Sold 130,000.
This sale brought in €1.5 million, but more importantly, opened the Félix Marciac collection to buyers. Bernard, the collector, even got a share. Well, it turned out well. I even got a little souvenir. How much did I pay? €500, a fortune.